Well, we welcome in Andy Sardello today, and Andy, of course, joined the live stream that I do. So if you watch the live stream, sometimes I get some ideas from that. And Andy was great to talk about his experience. He was on the show doing Stump the Booey, and he sent me the clip. It's very funny. I don't think it's on YouTube, so maybe it's kind of hard. We don't want to put that out there. But you told me about being part of that show. Just give me how this came about. I assume you were watching and listening and said, I have a pretty cute girlfriend. Tell me everything that happened. How this, give it the whole story from start to finish.
Well, huge Stern fan my whole life, obviously. And they would do Stump the Booey all the time. And like a lot of people, I'm sure, I can do that. I'm great at that. Well, my brother and I, growing up in the 80s like we did, we were musicians and we're savants with that stuff. For some reason, we can remember it. It's natural. So I hear maybe 3 or 4 or 5 times. I hear the show and Booey beats him and Booey beats him. And I'm like, you know what? What are the chances? But I'll give them a call and see if they're interested. And I gave them a call. I left Will a voicemail because Will is the one who produced that segment. And he got back to me. I said, I'm interested in playing Stump the Booey. And, I think I get a good shot. And he said, okay, tell me about yourself. I told him everything. He said, you got to have a pretty wife, girlfriend, or friend to bring in. And I said, it's no problem. My girlfriend's good looking. So he says, send me a picture of your girlfriend. We'll go from there. So he did it and called me back right away. And he said, okay, I'm going to call you tomorrow morning. I can't remember what the time was, but cell phones were just coming out. I mean, they were out, but there was no iPhones or anything like that. So he says, I'll give you a call, at this number. Well, I didn't have a good signal where I was. So anyways, long story short, I gave him a number to call me at. He says, I'm going to quiz you on 10 80s songs. I'm going to play 10 of them and let me know who they are, who it is and what the song title is. And I got 9 out of 10. And somehow I missed Hard My Heart by Quarter Flash. Somehow I had a brain fart for that one, but I don't know. But okay. Then he said, okay, I'll call you back. And so after that, I think it was like 2 days. And my girlfriend's picture was there. I had qualified for the show. Obviously, I didn't have any, they check your history or something like that. You know what I mean? They can't just bring you in like that. So, and Will called me back and we booked the show. And I was so excited. I mean, huge Stern fan my whole life, but to go on the show, and it was before Sirius. And so millions and millions and millions of people listening. And so he gave us the date to come on. And that's how that went down.
So then you get there. I guess there's a security person. Does Ronnie show up and bring you up? How do you get in there?
Ronnie was there, yeah. There's kind of a little asterisk on this. It's kind of funny. We got our date booked. And the day before that, no joke, my girlfriend at the time backed out. The day before, I'm like, you can't do this. We're going on national radio, blah, blah, blah. And she backed out. And so I called Will, and he just slammed the phone down on me. He did. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. So I'm going to say maybe a week later, I get a call from Will. Now, I'm still dating that girl at the time, but it was a surprise. She called up and said she would do it. So I'll give you one more chance if you want to come in. And we booked it, and then we went down on the 28th. We went down the night before, but it was February 28th of 2005. He gave me another chance. I was really lucky about that, but he gave me a chance.
And your girlfriend at that time, tell me a little bit about how was she coerced into doing this? Like, why was she interested in this?
She was a Stern fan. Awful confident that I wouldn't lose. But, I guess they probably all are. And I said, if I win, we'll split all the money. And it'll be great experience. Let's just go. And she knew I was really let down. She knew I really wanted to go on. And so she actually, I'm not saying went behind my back, but secretly called Will and rebooked it. And then we went down the night before. We stayed in the city. Our bit was scheduled for 7:30. If I recall, they said be there by 6:30. So we did. Sat at the original lobby. I don't know if you remember it, with the glass doors and everything, where Jackie chased Pat Cooper out and all that stuff. We sat there for a while. Tom Chiusano came in, welcomed us and whatnot. And Ronnie, when we came in, Ronnie wanded us with the security wand, and we went right to the green room.
So tell us the songs. It was Baba Booey Doesn't Lose.
The first one, and it's another kind of a funny thing, it was Born to Be My Baby by Bon Jovi. And while Jamie, her name was Jamie and I were in the green room for about an hour after we went through security. Howard was playing bits from the week before. Well, he hit a bit, and it started the Bon Jovi song. 2, 3, 4. And then he said, I hit the wrong button. And he played the bit. I said to Jamie, I think that's going to be the first song, and I know what it is. And so we went in the studio. We got called in. He asked us some questions. You know, they were awesome every step of the way. And then the contest was on, and the first one was Born to Be My Baby. As soon as I heard the Bon Jovi start singing it, I knew what it was. So...
yeah, Baba Booey, I watched the video you sent. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's hard to, it's not out there. Again, I don't want to be the one to put it out there, but Baba Booey, I think, says Born to Be Your Baby, so they give him an X, and the next three you guys both get correct, even though there was a miswording on another one. But you win 4-3, and so then the moment comes, you're supposed to win the money, and now they're like, oh, come on, what can we do to see you're naked? Tell me about how that conversation, because she does get naked, and she's...
right.
Tell me how that went after, before and after.
Right. Well, I obviously watched the shows before, and whether it was Winfred's Money or whoever was willing to get naked. And a lot of times the girls weren't really much to look at. And I knew my girlfriend. I mean, I dated her for 3 years, and we're still good friends, by the way, if you see this, Jamie. But, I mean, she really was gorgeous. I mean, beautiful girl. So I said, if I win, it'll be up to you, but they usually offer more money. And they're going to want to see you if I win, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So, yeah, Bowie missed the first one. We actually both got the second one. The third one we both missed, and that was Hell's for Children by Pat Benatar. And we missed that one, so luckily it was still 2-1 me. And then came Robert Plant, I'm in the Mood, and then I won it with Lady in Red by Krista Burke. So we won. Money was ours. And, of course, right away they started negotiating with Jamie to get naked. So I remember them saying, whatever, it's your decision from here on out. If they give you money, it's all yours. Whatever you want to do. I whispered it to her. And then Howard started working on her and stuff like that. But you're in that studio, and it is a little bit different, especially for her. She didn't listen or watch that much at the time. So knowing that millions and millions and millions of people are out there who are going to hear this and see this, I said, if you decide to do this, just know, that's the deal. Because when you're in that studio, it doesn't really seem like it. So they kept working on her, and I said, it's up to you. It's up to you. They didn't have any extra money to give. So I was like, we won the game. We won fair and square. So then they offered round-trip airfare tickets to anywhere in the country. Anywhere in the country. Whoop-de-doo, really. But I think, she really wanted to go on a nice vacation or something like that. So she says, okay, I'll do it for that. And so she agreed to do it. Curtain dropped.
Yeah. How was it after? So you guys walk out of the studio. How was she feeling? Well,
something really, it was great and interesting happened after that. There's about a 2-minute delay with that show. And we had the airline tickets. Jamie had shown off everything. They were all happy. And Sal Calabro, remember Dr. Sal?
Yes.
Used to do the breast implants. He called on the phone. And within the interim of that 2-minute delay, Jamie had said it was okay to drop the curtain. So he said, I'll give her breast implants if she agrees to drop the curtain. But in the meantime, we'd already dropped it. Now, she wanted breast implants back. She'd wanted them her whole life. It doesn't matter, just because we're going on the Stern Show, she always wanted them. And so he'd already gotten naked. And then Howard did say to me, well, you tell me a reason why I should do it. And I said, Howard, there's a couple things. She really wants them. and B, we won the game. And we didn't have to get naked. And we saw a bunch of people screw you over who lost and didn't get naked. So, for love of the show, she still got naked even though we won. And he's like, you're right. He said, that's a good idea. And then Gary mentioned the cards that we had written the songs on. We had all thrown them on the ground. Well, make her bend over and pick up those cards too. And Howard said, yeah, bend over, pick up those cards, of which there were 10, and you can have your breast implants. She did it.
Oh, so demeaning. I just watched it. It's so demeaning and it's so funny. Did you get a chance to meet Howard at all, or pictures or anything, or was that?
Yeah. Everyone there, everyone was excellent. Casey had just that week, whatever happened with him had happened that week. So he wasn't there. But before the show, Gary came in and visited with us a couple minutes before because, ironically, the week before we went on the show, he had an appearance up here where I live, and we went to see him. We said, hi, we'll see you next week and whatnot. So he was really cool, came in and hung out, got to meet Howard. Like I said before, it was before iPhones and stuff like that, so we couldn't really snap any pictures of iPhone, good pictures like that. But everyone treated us really well.
And then Will had contacted you just recently. How recently Will contacted you? Was it recent or?
Well, no, it wasn't that long. I can't remember exactly when it was, but I had always said to him, I stayed in contact with him. I can't find a copy of the show anywhere. And when we went on, it was on a VHS tape. I'm not kidding, 2005. So I'd recorded it on a VHS tape, which got lost in the shuffle somewhere. I said, is there any way we can get a copy of the show or whatnot? Because they'll post Stump the Booey things once in a while on YouTube, but they never posted ours, which I don't understand. But and so he sent me something saying, I think we were on for about an hour and a half, the whole bit, maybe not quite that long, but he narrowed it down to the 42 minutes that I sent you and really had all the bullet points. And so we'll always have that copy of it too. So.
And you keep in touch with Will? Is that possible? Or
yeah, that's who I would call if I ever called the show. Yeah, but I don't talk to him much anymore. I don't talk to him anymore at all, but he was a liaison for us. So.
Pretty good experience. This is, like I said, you came in on the live stream and mentioned this, and I'm like, I need to hear more about it. Anything else that we missed during that about that day for you or after? Or?
Yeah, well, there was a lot of interesting things that happened. Not so good. So Jamie, girl I was dating at the time, was a teacher. She was a teacher, and we were on the train ride home to get to our car, and our cell phones were ringing, and someone had filed a morality clause complaint or whatever at the school, of which she did not violate the morality clause. But for some reason, she had called in sick instead of taking a personal day. So the news was in the newspaper. Every news channel was calling us too. And they put the pictures in the paper and talked about how the local teacher was on Stern, but this happened. So it was kind of shitty afterwards, but no good. But she ended up, she did, I don't know if it was court, but she did talk to someone in the union and whatnot, and they ended up making a pretty nice settlement in her favor. And then she just left after that. But right after the show, it was bad for a couple weeks. It was bad.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We're just talking about just that moment, though. It was it's a great clip. You can go to YouTube and watch other Stump the Buoys or anything else, and they're just not doing that stuff anymore. I don't even Stump the Buoy. You could even do it. It's fun. I don't know why they've just sort of gotten rid of all the sort of the fun part. But I love the story. Like I said, I did my little live stream, and you popped in, and I appreciate you coming in and telling me anything else you want to tell people here or add to this story. This is a good one, though. Hopefully, people enjoyed this.
Well, I held out hope for a long time because Will had said there's a good possibility there'll be a Stump the Buoy Tournament of Champions. I think there was maybe 4 of us that ended up beating him, and he said what would happen would be we would play against each other, even if we had beaten Gary, and the last man standing would take Gary on. Because Stump the Buoy was pretty popular. It really was. And that never did come to fruition. They were moving to Sirius the next year, and it never did come about. But the whole experience, it was wonderful. Every one of them were great. Not one person was off at all. The prize, we got our money, we got our airline tickets, and she got her surgery. And they came through on everything they promised. So, you know what? I just, every time I hear that game being played, I'm like, what are the chances I can call and get through and get on it? And you know what? Right away, I got through right away. And they did not have anyone on the waiting list for it. And they got me right on. And it was a dream come true for sure, because I obviously love the show.
Yeah, I don't think I could stump the Booey because his knowledge of 70s music is great too. I can hang with anything in the 80s pretty much and early 90s.
It's only 80s.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's right. Okay. And I would not have got I would not have gotten that Pat Benatar song. I mean, I know 19 Pat Benatar songs. I've never heard of that
Me too.
one. Yeah, that one I don't even know where he came from, but no, it's a good story. I appreciate it. I'm always looking for people who've been on the show, can tell stories like this. I think people will enjoy it. Anything else that you want to add before we say goodbye today?
I guess that's about it. People need to know that they were very, very good, and they kept their word on everything they said, and everyone was really nice. And outside of that, thanks for having me on. I'm glad I got a chance to tell the story. I'm sure I'll think of a couple more interesting things. But from start to finish, it was really good. Almost surreal. Yeah. One of those things where right now, I know it was 20 years ago, but I still cannot believe it happened and that we won.
Yeah.
But
well, no, I appreciate you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate you popping in, like I said, on the live chat. It's Cousin Andy. If you come back to the live chat, he'll be there, hopefully. And this is what I like, that we kind of created sort of this thing just right off the live stream, and that's why we're doing it. So I appreciate it. And keep watching the channel. We'll see you next